Morning everyone, and welcome to another episode of Woodward's Watercolors. Now tonight we are drawing the wonderful creatures called alpacas. I've drawn them a few times and they're just so wonderful with their long necks and their furry heads and their really quite comical faces. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do a page in our sketchbook. We're just going to draw the same thing several times, try maybe a couple of different pens, see how that goes and just play about with it. But we're going to take just a few minutes to draw them in, and then we're going to add a very simple wash of colour. So come with me and we're going to draw some alpacas together. Okay, so I've got my lovely little sketchbook here and we are going to just open it up and we're going to make a start. So I'm going to have the reference image just here on the left of your screen. So what we're going to start with tonight is a thing called a pigment liner. This is 0.8 size. It has quite a nice grey finish to it. So we're going to start here and we're going to move this around really quite quickly. So look, just trying to get the sort of sense of the shapes. Looking to where the eye is now. I'm not expecting that at this stage these are really going to be that successful because I'm just sort of trying to warm up and trying to see the shape of the animal, trying to get its different features. And I mean the necks are probably going to be too long, but we're just at this stage drawing around. We're not going to make big decisions about is this bad, is this good. We're just going to try and see how we go. So we're just see, you can see that I'm just doing different dots and things. Part of the dot idea is really just trying to keep my hand moving so that I have got some movement and I'm not getting lost and thinking, geez, this is terrible. We're just keeping going. This is just the start of the exercise. So we're just seeing how this is going to turn out. Could I have used that word just any more times? So just looking to see there. I mean, that's the general kind of shape of the body. Let me actually keep going with this pen and we'll just keep moving quite loosely here with this other one in the background. It's facing me more. It's their sort of palmy hairdo that I find really interesting, and the way their noses are and their comical faces. You know, they're really quite funny animals and yet really quite sweet as well. I've seen them run over to their owners and things and really just enjoy it. And I've also had a few spit at me, which wasn't much fun. Now there's a post in the way there, so we're just going to assume sort of the legs and things. Now we've got this lad here, this other big guy in the corner. So he's the one that is the clearest in this photo. So I'm going to see, we're trying to get you can see how I'm just keeping going. And if the lines are there are slight mistakes and things, we're not being concerned about that at this stage. We are just playing around. These are really good preliminary sketches and a really fun way to, you know, moving that pen around to get that kind of idea of the curly hair that's so clear in this boyo here. Don't even know if it's a boy. And then getting this. Getting this bit around here, and they seem to have like almost kind of a beard around the muzzly bit of them. The neck maybe a little bit thinner than that, and then he's standing, calling him he. No idea. I'm sure somebody who's watching this can tell within an instant whether it's a boy or a girl. So we're just getting the basic kind of shapes in here, and then this hairy bit to his leg. And that wee bit of a hoof in there. Okay, so let's switch pens. So that was Pigment Liner 0.8 by Staedler, and it is waterproof. Now I'm going to try this time. I'm going to go much smaller. We're just going to focus in on one of them this time. So what I might do actually is, do you know what? I'm going to turn this one much more into a continuous line. So we're not going to lift the pen this time. See how this one turns out. The beauty about continuous line is already when I'm doing it, I'm in much more of a forgiving mindset because I'm not thinking, oh goodness, is this correct and have we got this right? I'm just going about the process of trying to capture the basic shape of the animal. So that's one of the major advantages. Now that bit is a bit thicker there, so I'll just bring that down there, and this bit needs a bit more there. So that line's too severe there. So that gives me much more of a kind of a loosey-goosey feel. So we're going to use the Fude Mannen for this one. I love the Fude Mannen pen. It is currently I think my favourite pen. Now I want to do this one really quite quickly. Just had to remind myself there that I wasn't doing, with this one, I'm not actually doing continuous line. So just telling myself there, Colin, you can't actually lift the pen. I'm actually thinking I'm needing to recharge the ink in some of these pens just because they're not giving it as freely as they were when I had lots of ink in. I haven't recharged them for a while. This weekend I am heading off with Mr. Toby Hessler to the Cotswolds, so I'm very excited about that. So if you may be watching this well after that. Now, the thing that is, because that's why I'm thinking about my pens and getting them all recharged and refreshed so that while I'm away I have as much ink as I possibly need. So this one I've cropped down. Now you can see where they have been kind of shaved. So this should be a fun exercise. This shouldn't be something that is remarkably draining and oh my goodness, what a mistake. I mean, this should be just enjoyable, and we're not needing to get it all in there, but we're just wanting to get the general kind of shape of the animal. Okay, so let's keep going with this pen, the beloved Fude Mannen. Fude, sorry. No, it should be pronounced Fude. I'm trying to use that other little part. So it's telling me that these do really need refilled again. So, and I love that with the Fude pen, you can play about with the thickness. You have so many sizes of pen in the one. So this is getting much more nearly caricatured with this. Just notice it's much darker there. Pop the eye in there, and then actually have these lovely eyelashes. Not the funniest, and then I can get the curlier bits along here as well. Okay, and then I just want to give that seems to be an important part, that sort of line of the beard, and then some of those lines just popping out. Okay, so there we are. We've got our initial drawings done, and this is just in a sketchbook, so it's a place to learn, and it's a journal, so it's going to tell me that, you know, I was enjoying doing this. So what we're going to do next is we're going to look to add in just some simple colour. So let me get organised, let me get my paints out, and then we'll add in some colour to this. Okay, so we're using the Winsor Newtons tonight. They're probably my next favourite to the Daniel Smiths, and I will always use 3 lifts of water, really, because I find that gives you a really good, just gives you a really good place to start, so you're getting the correct kind of thickness. Now there's a lovely, and I don't know how to describe this, it's not a brown ochre, but it is very, very close to that. It's quite an orangey tone. It's definitely in the ochre range. So I'm going to take a little bit of quinacridone, and I'm going to also take a little bit of an Indian red here and just add this in. And then the other bit that I'm going to add is for this funny coloured alpaca. I'm going to add in just a little bit of the brown to rich it down that little bit. Let's move that over. Okay. Okay, so we've got our colour mixed, and we're just going to add it just quite sparingly. We're looking to see, okay, where can we add this? So we don't want to colour in the whole thing now. I want to make this richer. Just going to richen up the colour a little bit. And we're just giving little bits of information where the colours are. So this bit's that little bit darker, and we're just adding in little bits here to bring in some definition and some indication. And I'm not worried at this point whether it's all in within the lines. We are literally just playing around now. We're going to look at this fella down here as well, a little bit further on down the page. Just want to mix the colour that little bit stronger as well and try this out here. So just giving him some little, put a little bit of a flick on my page as well. Just put a mark in there, and we're just using the one colour really quite sparingly, and then we're just going to plump a wee bit here on his back and on his hind legs. Okay, now the other ones are simple. Now, actually, let me go back a little bit, because this one at the top, I want to communicate that bit's darker. So just I can drop in more of the pigment to that area and also down the neck as well. Now, the other ones are pretty much white. Now, this other guy has a splodge on his back, and we may include that or we may not. Remember, we're working from a reference image. We're not trying to recreate the thing perfectly. So what I want to do is take a little bit of lamp black. I might just go for just a little touch of Payne's grey. And we're just going to just look and see where the shadows are. That's the height of it. And this is just, all this is doing is creating just a little toady bit of shadow. Now it's going to be much more, let's take a little bit of that orange, and not orange, sorry, that's kind of a tan colour. I'm going to make that more black again, a little bit of Payne's grey. I'll cancel out just a little bit of that warmth. And with his curly hair and his ears, we're just making simple marks and dark around the muzzle. And then on his, because he's just freshly shorn, we've got these the shaver marks. So I'm just going to just allude to that. I'm not looking for masses of detail. This is just play. And then just, can you see just how adding those simple little marks? Now, I have studied Quentin Blake, let me move that down. I've studied Quentin Blake quite a bit, and just in terms of looking at his work. And he is fascinating because he takes simple line work and just adds in just a very subtle amount of paint, and it just, all of a sudden you're there. So that's the principle we're going with today. Okay, so we're just going with this one, and then this one down here is it's closer again of the head of the one on the right hand side. So let's mix this and just capturing just little bits. The ears are the muzzle, and then it's down there and under the eye. Actually important, isn't it? And it fascinates me how you learn these things as you go, and then just holding the brush that little bit closer means I can manipulate it that more accurately by just adding those simple lines, those simple like shaving lines. I'm going to give him a little flick as well, just a little flick of colour. And what we'll do with this guy at the back here, let's give him a spot. He needs a spot. I was thinking that just as we were doing it, just on his one bit there. Just add his spot. There you are. So it's a really, really simple exercise and a really lovely way to just play about and to do a recce around what it actually means to draw the animal. Whenever I draw like this on a page, there's always one that I really gravitate towards and like. And well, I've actually got two favourites. Well, I've got two that I really like, and I've got a favourite. So the one I really like is this one. I just like the continuous line. It feels like it's captured a little bit of something of the essence of the animal. And I really like this one. Just the way the brush mark works against the line work of the Fude pen, and even the way the blotches have gone there, just work really well. So let me just pull these up a little bit closer. There you go. Drawing alpacas with simple line and wash. Well, did you enjoy that? I really hope you did. Such a fun animal to draw and such a simple way to do it. And having it in the context of the sketchbook means that you're there to journal something. So it's a diary back to moments that you've had in your life. I went to see those alpacas with my family. And it's also a place of learning. It's a classroom. So recognizing that I need to put more ink into my carbon pen and my Fude pen, but also playing about with the line work and getting freer as I go along, and then the simplicity of adding in a single colour and what it does, holding the brush down that closer to where the bristles are gives you that little bit more control, figuring out how much paint I need on the brush as I just do those little lines to show that the animal's just had its beautiful coat shorn off. Just a lot of fun, a nice way to do a page in your sketchbook. If you have a painter's block, artist's block, just ignore it. Just use that reference image and enjoy drawing some alpacas. It's great fun. I hope you find that really beneficial. I hope you find it freeing as an exercise. I hope you see it as a very simple invitation to do something that's fun and light and a lovely way in getting painting today. Now, as always, if you're finding benefit in these videos and you're enjoying them, I'm delighted. Thank you for taking the time to watch them. Please do switch on your notifications so you'll know of when the next videos are released. And also like and subscribe and share. And as always, if you have painted along with me, then do send me your image and I'll pop it up on the community page. But thank you for watching and I will see you the next time. Bye for now.